Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I'm Madalyn, and I've got some exciting updates and powerful tips to help you stay ahead in this fast moving digital world that we're in. We've got lots to talk about today, like school, where I host our Social Media and AI Shortcuts community. The school platform just launched a new $9 a month plan. Normally it's $99 a month, but they've added a new plan, $9 a month. I can't wait to talk about this with y'all. This is going to make it easier than ever to starting your own community. We're going to also dive into some important updates from Google Gemini. I don't know if you heard about this, but did you know they can access your Android apps, including your messages? That's kind of weird. I'm on an iPhone, but we're going to talk about this. So for all of you Android users, you need to know about this. I've got all kinds of details to share. We're also going to talk about ChatGPT, one of my favorite things, as y'all know by now. And I've also got some updates with TikTok and Substack that I want to pass along to y'all. So hello. Welcome to our show. I'm Madalyn Sklar. I've been teaching social media and digital marketing for many, many years now. I help you make smart, simple moves with AI and social media so that you can grow your presence without being overwhelmed. We all get so overwhelmed with this stuff. So I'm trying to bring down that overwhelm a bit and just make it a little easier with all this like kind of what I think is like bite-sized information, so that way is easier to understand. I'm going to bring up our panelists for today. Welcome, ladies and gent. Appreciate you all being here with us. So love that I've got
Hello.
y'all as regulars. Always a fun time. And just for people watching this, just FYI, joining our school community, our social media and AI shortcuts community over on school is free to join. That's where you get the opportunity if you want to be a part of this live stream and actually come on screen with us, be a part of the conversation. Rachel just made it in. Always great seeing all of you. So I want our community members to be the ones that have access to coming on screen if they want. There's, it's no big commitment, but I just really appreciate those that join and are taking part in our community. And so I want to give you guys the opportunity to come on screen if you choose to be part of this always interesting discussion. So glad to see y'all, Barb, Bez, Maria, and Rachel. Thanks for coming out and spending an hour of your time today with me and those watching. So how is everybody?
Great. Can I just say something kind of
Of
funny?
course.
I love Madalyn Sklar. Madalyn, you're the best. For years now, I've been so fascinated and learned so much. I'm a meditation teacher, but then I got into podcasting, and so I'm kind of a techie geek. So I have a lot of questions usually, and you've helped me out so much over the years. But I just want to say, being on this show right here helps me because it forces me to focus for an hour just on the tech like this. And then last week, when you were talking about Facebook going in and adjusting our settings, I did do my homework, but I didn't do it until a couple of days ago. I have to admit.
Yeah.
So I loved what we were talking about last week. You guys, if you're watching anything on here and she's showing us how to do something, try to do it right when she's telling us and join school, because then you can follow up and ask more questions and such too. But thank
Oh,
you, Madalyn.
you are so welcome. Plus, you can always go back to the replay and find the spots like where we went over something. But yeah, I have always been the kind of instructor or educator that's very tactical because I'm always learning things. And it's like, well, let me show everybody how I just did this thing because it'll probably help the next person. Because sometimes trying to figure out the thing is hard, you know. So
Yeah, and stress and anxiety, nothing's worse than somebody explaining something really quick to you and say, "Oh, it's easy. Just upload this, download
right, right,
that."
right.
And you're like, a deer in the headlights. So you make it so
Yeah.
easy. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Well, I appreciate y'all coming in, hanging out, and spending time here. And speaking of our school community, let me show it here on screen. So it's really simple. It's just a nice little community page we have over on the school platform. You can sign up. It's free to be a part of the discussions where it's like a forum and we just keep our conversations going, and I'm always posting interesting stuff I come across. And yeah, I really like school a lot. I've been on the school platform for years now. I first found out about it several years ago. I'm trying to think who's whose community I joined. It was somebody's community, and school was really small back then. And I joined their community, and it was a little different than some of the other community platforms, but I quickly fell in love with it because it's so easy to use, and it's just so simple, and it's a great way to connect where the person who starts the community is bringing everybody together, but then we can converse with everyone. And it's so easy to do. And I've been building online communities since the 90s. So I understand the power of community. And I just love how simple and easy this one is to use. And I just can't say enough great things about it. But that's part of our first bit of news to share. Well, first, just go join us on School. Go to school.com/Madalyn Sklar. Come be a part of our community. But exciting news that they have now. Well, let me kind of back up. School. The only thing that I think has kept a lot of people from starting a community over there is $99 a month. And there's School, there's Mighty Networks, there's Circle, there's a whole host of them now that offer these types of services, but they all cost money, and most of them are about $100 a month for you as the community owner. Of course, we got our Facebook groups, which are free, and I was utilizing Facebook groups for all my different offers and classes and things over the years. And it was great back in the day. But, we all know that Facebook is so restricted now, and there's always issues and there's always something going on. And so people are getting really fed up with Facebook, and they're looking for alternatives. So now the alternative is you're going to have to pay money to build a community outside of there. But many times we get what we pay for. Free Facebook groups are great, but sometimes the headache is not worth it. And so with something like School, I like it for me because I have all the controls. I don't have to worry about what changes is the tech billionaire going to implement today, on the platform. I have full control over the content. No one gets to censor. If anybody's going to censor, it gets to be me, the owner of the community. So there's a lot of power in that. And to me, it's been worth paying for me to pay $99 a month to have this platform where I have full control. So I've been using School for quite a while for one of my communities, my Kratom Stories podcast that I've been doing for a while now. I wanted to have a community for that. I wanted to have a community for that group, but with no restrictions because it's a botanical supplement. There's all kinds of gray area, and it's frustrating because some platforms, some social networks don't like you talking about that. You get in trouble for the littlest. I keep getting in trouble on TikTok when I talk about this botanical. It's ridiculous. I just got a strike. They took down one of my videos yesterday and gave me a strike on my account because of a video talking about people's firsthand experience with the plant. It's so ridiculous, but it is a gray area. So I knew with that community, I needed to have a place where I'm just going to have to spend the money. I make it free for the community members. You get to choose if you want to charge a fee or make it free for your community, but you're going to pay a fee as the community owner. So I decided, this was back in December 2023. I'd already been in School communities for a while. So I decided I'm going to start one for my Kratom community. And it was the smartest decision I made because where we're at today in 2025, if you have a Kratom related Facebook group, they've all been removed. If you have a Kratom related Facebook page, they've all been removed. Facebook has decided that you can't have that on their platform. So they have literally deleted all of those accounts. And there are people that have built, groups to help people. And it's incredibly frustrating. But also in business, with business, you don't really run into those concerns as much, but still these platforms do whatever they want. Who's looking at the terms of service? Most of us are not looking at the terms of service. Although now we know, just open up ChatGPT or Magi or your favorite AI tool, go copy and paste the terms of service and have it explain to you, like, summarize this and explain it to me like you're 12 years old, like I'm 12 years old. Like, make it so I can understand, because I don't understand this jargon. Like, we have more capabilities now, but still, at the end of the day, who's really checking those things? None of us. No, I don't ever look at the terms of. Do you, y'all look at terms of service? I don't ever do that.
I absolutely do.
I'm not
Sorry.
surprised, Barb. Now, I know there's a small
I would
percent.
think Rachel does too. I mean, my whole community, when I got online, I had attorneys right next to me. It's like, oh my God, we got to pay attention to all this. So I've done it my whole career online. I've checked the terms of service, and it's funny you should bring that up today.
I'm sporadic about checking, I think. And for my content, a lot of times I even forget to put the watermark on or my name on things. That's important too. Because I'm okay sometimes with them repurposing or doing stuff, but I want to at least make it known that it's my content, that it's my voice on my voiceover, or on my nature video, or what have you. But I have to tell you the truth, I'm not very good at checking the terms of service regularly. So, yeah, thanks for these reminders. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you,
And,
Rachel?
and Facebook is a mess because some people do charge for groups on Facebook. And so, I mean, I've paid $20 for a class that somebody has created a group just for a 6-week class, for instance. And now they're taking down all the live videos too. So
Right.
people were thinking that they were building a 6-week, mastermind group or something, and people pay, and it's evergreen perhaps, but Facebook is removing it
Right.
sometimes. So yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of frustrations with that. Rachel, what were you going to tell us?
Oh, I was just going to say a friend of mine in the legal field sent me the latest update for X. And if you have premium, you therefore now agree that you will not join any class action lawsuits having to do with AI.
Right.
Wow.
So she said to me, see if you're, because I was verified back when it meant something earlier, when it was Twitter and you had to like earn it, right? Now, of course, premium, we have to pay for it, but it gives us the opportunity to advertise and do things that we can't do otherwise. And now, if we don't opt out of that, the only way to opt out is to stop your premium subscription.
Right.
And I've paid for the whole year for both of my 2 verified accounts. So like, it's very frustrating.
And Rachel, are you on the plus or the
Mhm.
regular premium?
Regular premium.
Me too, but I was on plus and then I just downgraded, and there is a huge difference. I'm getting a lot of ads now. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
only reason I'm holding on to it because it has a couple of different
Yeah.
features that I
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
longer videos and posts and that kind of stuff, but also that ability to build community. I
Yeah.
can't have, and obviously the communities are wonky anyway. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
reconsidering, like, why am I paying? And
Well,
it's not
I
very reliable, and they're
school
taking my content.
school's going to look a lot more appealing after what we're getting ready to talk about now because uh, again, it goes back to what I was saying before. Having that control makes such a big difference when when you have a community. Facebook was something we all did for our communities for so long, and many of us did do it on X, Twitter, and then it turned into X. And I've always been frustrated. I know Maria, you're big with the using X for communities. I know they have more features now, but it just never worked the way I wanted to. And I really like what I can do with school, and school just keeps adding features. They just added a new feature where you can finally upload native video. Like before, if you wanted a video on school, you had to go put in a YouTube link or a Loom. Like if you wanted to just make a quick little video or something, you had to go upload it. Like I would upload to YouTube, make it private or unlisted, go get the link, or do it on Loom, get the link, go pay. Like it's a lot of steps. They just added the ability where from your phone or from your computer, you can just upload a native video, which is huge. And one of the big features they're going to be launching shortly, I'm super excited about, is you'll be able to live stream directly on school, which is huge. Like I love live streaming, but I would love to have an ability to do it directly through, because then you can bring more people into your community.
Madalyn, do you have any idea when you go live in school, is it easy to download it to save it to your own
Well, we don't have
drive.
that ability yet to
Not yet. Okay.
go live in school, so I don't have all
Oh,
but
okay.
that's their next thing they're gonna launch, probably, I would say, in the next month or 2. So, we'll have an ability to live stream because, if you wanna live stream, but do it through your community, what I would like this is public. So, like, right now, I'm doing a public live stream, y'all are watching, we got this on YouTube, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, we're all over it, and thanks to everybody watching, by the way. And we're on some of y'all's platforms too, so thank you all so much for adding it. So, it's all public. I can link to that in my community, of course, but let's say I wanna do a private webinar just for our school community. Well, then I'd have to go set up, StreamYard here or use Zoom and make it all private and only post it to the community. So, they're gonna make it so that, like, it can all just be all in there without all these extra things you gotta do. Like, it looks like what they're trying to do is make it less steps, which I think would be great. So, um, yeah, my friend, Venus says that'd be great to go live on school. That's what they're working on right now. Is they just keep adding more features, but I'm really excited to show y'all the new thing that's going on with school right now. So you just announced it a few days ago. They now have a $9 a month plan. They're calling it the hobby plan, but it's really for anybody, business, hobby, whatever, that wants to use the school platform, but without having to pay $99 a month to go set one up for your community. Because that is pretty pricey, and that does keep a lot of people from doing it. I have 2 of them, and I was like, this adds up. I had my first one, my Kratom one, and I luckily I have some. It comes out of my pocket, but I do have some occasional supporters that help fund all the advocacy I do, and that helps. Every little bit helps. But I just felt so strongly for that community that I want to have a private place we can have where we're not going to have censorship issues. And then for this one, the social media and AI shortcuts, I love school so much, and even though I have this free for everybody to join, it still felt important for me to pay for a $99 a month plan because of all the features you get. But here's what's great. Now they have a second tier plan, $9 a month. So I'm going to play a little clip from the video. Sam Ovens, the guy behind school who created it. I'm going to play a little clip because they always do like a little, it's really cool. What he and another member of his team, what they do each week is they put out a video, they call it school news, and just the latest of what they're doing, what new features are coming or what new features they have already just put out, and just keep everybody updated. And being this, I love it. They're being very meta. They're a community that is talking about community and helping the community like it's just community in every which way. Like, let's just be all about this community and help each other. So let me play this short little clip so you can learn more about what they're doing.
Yes, we've got a big one to cover today. So now you can get started with school for $9 per month. We're calling this one the hobby plan. And usually it's been $99 a month to get started. We've only had one pricing plan. Now we're introducing one called Hobby Plan that's $9 a month. And it's
cheaper than a McDonald's.
Yeah, the average price people pay for a McDonald's meal in the US in 2025 is $10.
Wow, you did some research.
It's cheaper than a McDonald's meal to use school for a month.
This was $9.99.
Let me now they get into this whole talking about all their McDonald's food. Okay.
Here's the feature comparison. So I'll zoom in. So you get all the features. So, you can do everything.
Boom.
Unlimited members, unlimited courses.
Yes.
The difference is you only get one admin, which is yourself, basically. It's a solo plan.
Yep.
You get unlimited on Pro. And then 10% transaction fee. Because, when you're making small amounts of money, this is not that much.
Yep.
You can always switch over to this one, which has the lowest transaction fees.
Yes, the 10% is still pretty good.
And then you don't.
Let me stop so the transaction fee is because whether you have a free community or you charge for your community for people to join, you can have courses in there and you can have them free or you could charge. So I have both of my communities on school are free, but I can have paid courses in there. So on the $99 Pro plan, the transaction fee is just the typical 2.9%. But if you just do the $9 a month plan, they're going to have the higher transaction fee. So it kind of makes like, because most people are going to do the $9 a month plan more for a hobby or probably things that they're not trying to monetize, or it could be a good introduction to, I have this idea for a class or a community with some courses. Let me start with this hobby plan. So if I pay a little bit more of a transaction fee, let me still do this because maybe I need to see if this even works. Maybe this won't even work out. So instead of paying $100 a month, you're just paying $9 a month. So I just want to explain real quick what that means.
Get a custom URL.
Yep.
And you can't hide suggested communities, but this is a pretty good deal.
Yeah, this is insane.
Because, there's been a lot of people that want to use School, but $99 is quite a lot.
Yes.
Or they want to make a free community.
Yeah.
Or they want, they're just getting started.
Yep.
And so now, this really opens it up so that pretty much anyone can create a School community.
Yeah, this is a game changer.
Yeah. So what are suggested communities? It was one of the points on the pricing page. So it looks like this. I'm
going to go ahead and stop here. I'll have the link to that video in the YouTube description. I'm on my YouTube channel here at Madalyn Sklar. Because they have like a whole, they go into details more fully.
And you can just check out Madalyn's school for an example.
Absolutely. Let me put my banner back up and just go to school.com/Madalyn Sklar. I can always count on y'all to throw those reminders in. Because, when you're doing this, you don't think to do all that. But yeah, I'm just so wowed that they've come up with a $9 a month plan. I think that's genius. I think a lot of people are fed up with Facebook groups, or people are seeing there's power in having a group, whether you are a brand, whether you are just trying to bring a group of people together. There's nothing more powerful than having a place where you can control that and have them come and comfortably hang out. And the thing is about School is so easy to use. It is such an easy platform. So I think
I might have to try it.
I think it's just genius on their part to do this. I think the timing for this was great. So let me, if people here are interested and want to at least check this out or learn more, here's the link. You can set up your own School community for just $9 a month. Here's my little shortened link. I'm using this new link shortener called Dub. Have y'all heard of this? Dub, D-U-B. So it's dub.sh/join school. And when you go there, this is what comes up. And so let me take the banner off so you can see the bottom. So you'll see at the top, it says Madalyn Sklar invited you. So you can either click here, you can click pretty much anywhere, and then it'll show you that page they were just showing on the video, the two different plans. And yeah, you can try it for free because they do they have a free trial. But look at the bottom. I had to scroll up for this. Here's what's interesting. So when we talked about the transaction fee, when you're doing the $99 a month, you're paying a 2.9% transaction fee and for the credit card processing. So look at the bottom here. They have the lowest transaction fee. If you do Discord, 16%, Patreon, 14%, WAP, 13%, Circle is 7%, Stand is 6%, School is just 2.9%. And so if you're utilizing this for things that you're going to be charging fees, courses or whatever, that can make a difference.
So, Madalyn, do you know if that's includes the processing? Like that's the whole, or does that encompass everything, or is that School's charge the 2.9%?
So my understanding is it is the flat out percent for the transaction fee, because I remember reading something a while back that said that of course you could just sit here and Stripe is like one of the cheapest ones. It's like, and actually they use Stripe, but they're not keeping it. My understanding is just the pure transaction fee from Stripe.
That's what it looks like. 2.9 is what they charge, plus I think 30 cents.
Right.
But one thing I was going to ask you, since you're a School user, is do you use any plugins? Because I heard you're going to lose the plugins on the $9 plan. And I'm just asking because I don't know if plugins are a
Yeah,
big
you
deal.
don't. They have some different plugins, and they do talk about it in that video. I'm not sure where in it, so we won't have time to go because it's a long video. But I'll on my YouTube at Madalyn Sklar, I'll put the link to the full video, or you could just go to school's YouTube channel.
Well, do
SKOOL.
you use
Did you
plugins,
use that?
Madalyn?
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, they've got these different plugins. Let me see if I can get to that page real quick and show y'all. I know in the video they talked a little bit about, because some of it will stay. Let me see. Let me pull this up so y'all can see.
It's
So
okay. We know you don't work
it's
for
live.
them.
It's live. I just have to go grab the screen. So when you're, they got all these different plugins, and basically
Oh.
it's, like I believe the membership questions. They did say some of these are. I think these are the ones that are all. Yeah, here we go. I see now. They just added pro. They made this easy now. See, I'm doing this on the fly, and this is new. So okay, so you get the three, and these were the three main ones when school was newer. Membership questions. So when your new members sign up, you can ask them 3 questions, very much like a Facebook group. You can also set it up so. To get more people conversing, you can unlock the ability for things at certain level. Like you just don't want if you're trying to make sure people participate and be a part of the conversation and not just being there to spam and harass people. Like you want them being active, then you have chat unlock at 2 or 3. It says reduce spam. Unlock posting at level 2 or 3. Says reducing low quality posts. But you got to have the pro account to add the auto DM to your new members. So like when somebody joins, you can have them get an automated DM from you. Like mine's super generic. Let me see if I click on it and y'all can see. Yeah, here we go. So this is my super generic. So when you join my social media AI shortcut school that we're looking at right now, this will automatically go to you. It says, hey, and your name. Welcome to the group. I'm so excited you're here. Please do me a favor. Reply back telling me how you found out about our group, social media, my live stream, word of mouth. People almost always answer this. And it's an auto, which is nice. It's nice to have this, auto. But let me see if I can get back in there to the. See, now I messed myself up getting out of that screen.
So you get at least some basic stuff. It's the other stuff.
Yeah, because the other stuff are not have to. It's like Zapier. Like if you want to utilize Zapier, then you got to be on the pro. If you want to do meta pixel tracking, you want to have a video of when people cancel. That's a newer feature. You want to do Google Ads tracking. You want to have links. So I like the links feature. I'll show you all that in a second. Instant membership approval, auto approve membership request, so members get instant access. So I like the links feature. So basically you got your bio on the right side here. You can put these 3 links here of anything you want. So I have new, start here, and it takes you to an item in the classroom. I got join me on X, join my email list. So yeah, I mean, you get the main things that you need. You're not really losing a lot there's a huge difference going between $9 a month and $99 a month. So I think for many people, you'd be okay not having all those additional features. At least just start with the $9 a month, and then you can always upgrade.
No. Thank you for sharing that, because it helps me. Okay, what use case would I use that for? $9
Right.
makes it attractive, because I just started a Facebook group in my community because I was tired of all the toxicity that a local Facebook group. I mean, it gets bad, and so I started and I called it the good people of Northeast Georgia. And then when I when people come and say, "Hey, welcome," we're all about good vibes and good shares, and pretty much everyone's kept on point. I haven't made any rules, but I know somebody will come in and mess it up, so I'll have to. Well, I gotta make some rules now, but it is Facebook. It's public, and anyways, yeah, it is. I can see one day where I'm like, I'm over this. It's
Well, and
time.
I have to say, public versus private, people definitely interact more in a private community.
Yep.
Yeah, because there just a lot of people out there are not willing to be vulnerable out to the whole entire platform. And I've
Yeah.
had good luck with going private. They feel more comfortable. So that's the only thing I would say there too. So school gives us that option too. Madalyn, nobody can people just noodle around on your school page? They have to join, right, to have
Yeah.
access.
Yeah. I mean,
So
mine is
you know
private.
who's looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anybody can come join us at Social Media and AI Shortcuts. The link's right here, school.com/Madalyn Sklar. It's in the ticker too. I mean, I got this in the ticker here. And let's see, do I have the link to
Yeah,
this?
it's strange because in the podcasting community that I have on Facebook, 30,000 people. And literally, I had it public for the longest time, but they won't interact as much. I thought they would want to be public because they want their podcast to be seen by everybody on Facebook. So I viewed that particular community as a marketing opportunity. But the users, the members, didn't really feel like that. They feel a
Yeah.
little better when it's private.
Well,
Even that.
you can go from public to private, but you can't go from private to public.
Exactly.
So that's why I set it up
Exactly.
public. I can
Yeah.
see eventually go private, but yeah.
Well, here's the thing too. If, for people that have a Facebook group, here's a big question. Do you have the email addresses of all those members? No. You never
No.
have and you never will. And that's how all the social media platforms are. On school,
Well,
you get their email address.
that's great.
You can put it in on the request to join the community, but you have to enforce it.
Right. But there's another way too. I mean, you can download your friends list off Facebook. And if you did that from, like me, from back in 2008, and you made it an event every month of people that you connected with, because I was a database person and a master network. I can tell you the exact time that we became friends. And I check your profile for your email address and your phone number and put it in my database.
But that would be all manually done, though.
So, but at the time you're doing it, go back. At that time, it was less than a half an hour a month. And so, for those folks, I do. But I think, because I messaged Madalyn about starting this because I really do feel that it's going to be a game changer for folks who are sick and tired of certain things happening in the core communities that we create on Facebook. But all of us need to remember one very big thing, and it's the number of members on Facebook who actually log in every day. You can't forget that. And so people to people, your community has to come from somewhere. Like Madalyn's, we're streaming to multiple destinations. We're hoping that you'll resonate with what we're sharing and join us in this exclusive community. And the difference we know, because we've been online forever, is that in that exclusive community, then we are challenged to build, create, and maintain quality content at that destination so that you'll want to come back, for 20 years or so.
Right.
But it is, I went right away, and I don't mind. I'd be happy to share my inside thing from the hobby side. I thought it was because when I messaged Madalyn about it, she says, "Oh yeah, well they're hobby groups," and I thought one of the most. I don't know if you remember Melody Lane from Blab, but Melody was someone, I was her mentor, and I mean, neat to the point she was so wonderful about following my advice, even to the point of meeting up with Elon Musk, because it worked. My thing is that hers was based on a hobby, and all these people had that same hobby, but to do that hobby, they had to have product, and she made her millions on the product. So you have to be, it's your why. And I think when I pressed the button, I just did it and I wasn't thinking at all. And I pressed the button to create my first group over there. I realized, oh my God, you're the core issues that you need to be concerned about when you establish a community. You didn't even think of it. You just wanted to get in. And it makes a difference, because when you do, that URL that is automatically generated, it has numbers at the end of it, and it does not change. You can change your group name after you get in there. It automatically generates a name, but you can change your group name, but the actual URL that it refers to is the same. So I went right away to my own website and used the redirect. I run on WordPress, and I use the redirect plugin and made up, I go to barbt.com/learn for you to get inside the community, and barbt.com/school to go in through the affiliate link, because even their affiliate links are just really long. But doing that before you actually set up. And I think that you have to develop a content plan before you take them up on the offer, because if you don't, you're going to have some regrets, just like I did when I went in and I said, I've got to set things up. I haven't invited anybody in, but is so great to attend this today, because I didn't realize there were certain plugins we had, and I discovered that while we were here together live. So, but I think it's going to be a deal breaker for Facebook. I think it's going to be, there's the reason there are so many millions of groups on Facebook is people have great intentions, but they don't know anything about really building and sustaining online communities.
Yeah.
And they get in there, and it's like one of our panelists said something about millions in a group, but it didn't, there was no or hundreds of thousands or whatever, is a really large number, and yet there was no interaction. That's engagement is what it's all about.
100%. Absolutely.
And when I was in my previous live just to this one this morning, that's exactly what we were talking about, what Facebook has actually done in working against us, because their algorithms have changed, and they're developing, Mark has paid a ton of money for AI talent to help him pull this off, this next phase. And what they're doing, they're expecting us to allow the AI to help us in creating engagement and sustaining our communities. But we all know from our own experiences of using the platform since forever that, don't just jump in, because bad things can happen, as we know that did that in the last 10 days. So the AI has to be trained. So I really think Skull is the answer, especially if you're just getting started with communities.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time on Facebook, because the reason that you're starting a community is you have friends that you have found there that share this common interest, and they want to get together regularly. So I do think it's going to be a game changer, but I don't think it's something to just jump in.
No, I agree.
Do like I did and press the button, because it was shame on Barb. I mean, I have this long online community and all these numbers extended from it. And it's like, well, because I thought I could change it, right? Nope, that's not going to happen. And then I thought about it. Well, lady, that's what the referrers are for, because if ever it changes, if it's not school that keeps us happy, and we have to go to one of those other destinations, my referral links work the same. So if you know me for learning, if that's the key word, and I say barbt.com/learn, I could send you to LinkedIn, I could send you to Facebook, I could send you anywhere. So.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing all that. I mean, it's a great perspective on all of this. Yeah. You don't want to just blindly, let's just set up a community, have a plan. But what's great about school is that the cost is low. There's now a low barrier to entry at $9 a month, and there's a free trial. So it's like a win-win. Have a plan. But I do want to mention, because we got to move on to some other news I want to share. But if you use my link, you'll see it in the ticker down there, my dub.sh/join school. You can always reach out to me for it as well. If you use my link and you see my little invite at the top and you need some help setting it up, I'd be happy to help you get that up and running. If you need me to help do a lot more of it for a do for you, I will assist you, but if you need like a done for you, then I can do that for a fee. So, but if you just want some assistance getting it up and running, use my link and I'll be happy to answer your questions and help you get that thing going, or give you some shortcuts. I'm good with the whole shortcuts thing, as y'all know, but I think this is a real game changer. I'm really excited about this. I think this is huge. Let's move on to our next bit of news. There's it's actually something that Rachel had just shared with us that we got to talk about today. Let me pull it up on screen. Rachel has sent over this message about this thing with Gemini, and I don't know if y'all been hearing about Gemini. They want to have access to your Android phone's apps. What's going on? Have y'all heard about this? Has anybody here heard about that or no?
No, but it sounds similar to Facebook trying to get into our phones, right? Into the pictures that we were talking about last week.
Yeah,
It sounds
it's
similar.
like
Android, yeah.
it's like, what's going on? Here's the article. I'll have the links to all this stuff in the YouTube description.
It's such a shame because I think what's happening in the world right now is freedom of speech is having this weird twist that if anything's private, there must be something evil behind it.
Yeah,
I think that's what's happening because they're thinking everything of ours, our personal stuff should be out there. What the heck? No, that doesn't make sense. But I think a lot of these platforms are going in that direction.
it sure seems that way.
This feels even more invasive, I think, because even if you don't have an Android phone, which I don't, I have family members that have that. So, I could potentially send something to a family member that is for our private use, and then it's being pulled. Photos, private messages. It's really scary. And then the other thing before I just wanted to just ask you this, Madalyn, with regard to Facebook. I'm getting so many people who are saying, well, I don't have Facebook on my phone, so I don't have to click that off. But it's automatically clicked on for them, that setting. So I'm telling people, add the Facebook app to your phone or
so you can turn it off, yeah,
to your tablet, turn it off, sign in, turn it off, and then delete the app. But people have this really false sense of security. Well, I don't use the Facebook app on my phone, so they're not pulling my pictures. They are. They sent that to everybody in the update, and you have to go in and toggle it to off. So I think there's a very big false sense of security when it comes to what's sharing, because people are very sort of tunnel vision. I only do it on my desktop, so they can't pull from other places, and that's not true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel, for that. Yes, that's what I found the other day, too. It was not possible on my desktop. I couldn't access that at all.
No, there's no option for turning off camera sharing on your desktop. You have to go into the app to do it.
It's so interesting. Thanks for sharing that because I didn't know that either. Interesting. Yeah, because they specifically said you can adjust it on the mobile app. So I can see if somebody says, well, I don't have the mobile app, then it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
So that's a wise tip.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Really, really good. Really, really good. Back to the whole Gemini Android phone thing. I'm going to play a short little clip on that just because this person kind of explains it.
Welcome back to the channel. My name is John, and this is your Modern Tech Breakdown. Today, I'm looking at a change that Google is rolling out to Android that will allow its AI service Gemini to access data in third-party apps on your phone. Let's get into it. So here I have an article from Ars Technica reporting that as of July 7th, Google is rolling out a change that will enable its Gemini AI service to interact with third-party apps such as WhatsApp, even when users previously configured their devices to block such interactions. Apparently, Google sent out an email informing users of the change. I'm not an Android user, so I didn't get one, but the email is at best poorly worded. It's a bit difficult to decipher exactly how you can control whether or not you want Gemini to have this access. The email states that Gemini will have access whether or not you have Gemini apps activity turned off or on, and the change is rolling out automatically starting on July 7th. So it's not really clear from the email exactly what is happening. But it's a bit difficult to be sure on this, but it seems that if you've never installed the Gemini app on your phone, none of this applies to you. Again, that's not super clear based on how this has been worded. And thankfully, the author of this article reached out to Google PR for a response on this, and Google's very typical corporate response back was, "This update is good for users. They can now use Gemini to complete daily tasks on their mobile devices, like send messages, initiate phone calls, and set timers while Gemini apps activity is turned off. With Gemini apps activity turned off, their Gemini chats are not being reviewed or used to improve our AI models." Unquote. So you see, this is actually good for you. There's no reason to worry about AI at all. Just move along. But
That's interesting. I mean, I'm on an iPhone, so I'm not too concerned. But I'm like, I got to share this for you Android users out there. Like, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, but let me go back to what Rachel mentioned too. I have an iPhone also, but if I'm communicating with somebody on an Android, does that affect me?
I don't. I think this is just for Android mobile users. Was my impression, but I don't know. The guy says it
No,
was
it
mostly
caches
vague.
it caches it on your phone. That's another big issue. You guys Google it; it's there. You guys, whoever correspond, your communications between the two of you, and just, I mean, it was just, I got the notice from Mari today about the new Meta chatbots and how they're going into all of our messages and stuff, and we got that on our phones, and it's like, my God, this is crazy. And back in the day when we started out on this commercialization of the internet, I mean, we got some protection federally on that about what they could get into, the information they could access, and that's expired. And I was one of the founding members of the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and I just got a notice recently about what ICANN was doing with our domains. And I think we're all sitting back thinking, oh, we took care of that long ago and no big deal. But because of AI, and it really is because of AI, everything is changing, and you've got to stay aware. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, real quick. I use Google Apps on my iPhone because I was a heavy Google Android user before I
Me
made
too.
the switch
Yeah.
to Apple for like 10 plus years. And so I'm heavy, on my iPhone, I use a bunch of Google apps. I just assume that I'll tell you this. When I used to talk to the AI back in the day, and it would respond and say my name correctly. I have a hard name to say. When I went over to iPhone, Siri butchered my name, and I just felt like I was starting over, and I was starting over with Siri. Google knew me well. Google knew me well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting stuff. I mean, it's just being aware of these different things and knowing what's going on of like how these things work, and always something with these different sites. Yeah, Rachel.
Really quick, I just wanted to add, a lot of people are also responding. I got more clicks to that Substack article showing people how to do the Facebook turn on. Like, I've never had, it was like 2,000 people have shared it. It's
That's
crazy.
awesome. Well,
It's amazing.
But it's great information.
Thank you. And thank you for commenting. I saw you created your account, so I was really proud of you.
Oh, I've had one. I've had one for a long time.
Okay. But what's interesting is people are also responding and saying, well, I turned that off years ago. So Facebook doesn't have access, or Instagram or whatever. Check Instagram, check Threads. They're probably all toggled on too.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You got to check them all. You got to check them all. So important.
Yeah.
Let me get to some other little bits of news and things to show y'all as we start wrapping. The hour always goes so fast. So y'all know I have to talk about ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT. So, I talk all the time about that audio, that advanced audio voice thing where you just talk to it like a person. I love doing it on my phone. You can do it on your computer, but there's just something about on the phone like I'm talking to a real person. So I went down quite the rabbit hole with it the other day, and I kid you not, I spent 44 minutes. Look at this. Look at that screenshot. 44 minutes. I was like, I got to screenshot this. was just back and forth, just down a rabbit hole of just having just this intense conversation. It was just so conversational. So I had to, of course, post about it on X. And I said, another reason why I love ChatGPT's advanced voice mode. I just spent 44 minutes having an incredibly helpful brainstorming session with it. I'm basically talking back and forth in real time with it on my phone. I'm on the Plus plan. So you know, the $20 a month plan is worth it for me because I mean, I know last week I said the $20 a month is worth it for the task feature. It's also worth it for me to have. I just feel like it's, and I have Magi. You know, I have my $20 a month Magi, which I love, but I also love having my $20 a month ChatGPT because of advanced voice for this and the task feature. But you know, but I want people to know that you can do this advanced voice on the free plan. You don't have to have the paid plan. But here's the thing is that I think I have it. Maybe it's not on here. On the free plan, you get, I think it's like maybe 10 minutes of talk time per day, which actually is a pretty decent amount. On the Plus plan that I have, you get an hour. And I wasn't 100% sure I've never done it long enough on the paid plan to see how long I could go before it cut me off. So I did the 44 minutes. And of course, later I thought of something else. So I started a new chat. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, it told me that I was almost at my limit. I'm like, oh, okay. So the limit is definitely an hour. Because when you go into ChatGPT's, their Q&A section where they have details about the different features, they don't really tell you exactly, you know, it's a little frustrating. So I don't know if it changes or it just depends on usage, but I think it's pretty impressive that I can spend an hour just talking to it like this on my 20.
Madalyn, can I just ask the voice memo feature that you were just talking about? You said you posted it on X.
The
And
screenshot.
Yes, and your post was great, but I just want to clarify. This post is also in school. Is that how you're doing it? And then just going deeper sometimes on school?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't remember if I put that in school. I don't think I mean, because the other thing too on school is I don't want to overwhelm our community. So I don't
Yeah.
I'm not just constantly posting stuff in there. I want it to be more like, you know, here's this amazing video I just watched about this tool or this AI or this
More personal.
this strategy that I just saw. But that's a good point. I probably should have posted that in school because it was just so interesting how I had this great conversation with ChatGPT. I walked away a little bit smarter after just conversing. I mean, I kept asking it questions and questions. And it was fun.
Right,
you know,
right.
and-
Yeah, because it's great to hear you talk about it and explain it in this context, in this kind of a conversation. And then I just want people to know if they're following you on X, for instance, they will get glimpses and great tips
Oh,
and ideas
absolutely.
from you. But when they go to school, they're going to definitely get extra and different. And they could bring any topic up probably and ask you about it for more
Absolutely.
information. Because word of mouth and questions, sometimes you don't know when you're teaching what people don't know. And it's hard to assume. So yeah, I love the idea of going deeper into some of your, even if they're on X, the posts, school gives you an opportunity to go deeper.
It's a great way of putting it. Thank you for sharing that, Maria.
Yeah.
That's a great point because here's the thing. We all know with social media, it's the algorithm. The algorithm is going to decide if you're going to see my post today. You might not. You know, the algorithm's dictating that. But over on school, you will always have the opportunity to see any of my posts, any of your anybody's posts in there. But also, here's the thing. That's why I put the link back up. So if anybody's not joined yet, go to school.com/Madalyn Sklar. It's no cost for anybody. It's a free community. But here's the thing. You can get the most access to me through that link because I'm in there actively engaging with people. So if you have a question, you can ask a question to the group and I'm going to jump in and answer. I'll probably be the first one to answer. I will always answer. You don't get that as much in social media because the algorithm probably didn't even give you the thing to begin with so you can even see a post. So that's kind of the beauty of a private online community like what we have over on school. That's why I think it's such a great way to stay more connected to people that are like-minded that you want to have more conversations with without that barrier of is the algorithm or it's just there's just I just feel like there's too many barriers. And this eliminates a lot of that. So I just think this, school is just a great place to go. Let me do a couple of quick pieces of news as we wrap up here. So I just saw something interesting for those of y'all that use TikTok. I know this is really small for anybody on their phone looking at this. Basically, it's been put out that TikTok is somebody, I guess, got a little pop-up screen that says TikTok is recommending a maximum of only 5 hashtags for posts. So I did a little more research. I went and found a Reddit thread where people were talking about it as well. And I don't think everybody's gotten I haven't seen a message like that yet. And I usually do more than 5 hashtags. But interesting how these platforms are just not as into hashtags like they once were. If anybody's still doing hashtags here over on X, I say here on X because we're on X, but we're on other platforms too right now, live streaming. Don't put hashtags on X.
Sorry.
They don't like them anymore.
Yeah, I do book Twitter because Elon
you do
says
one. You could do one.
Yeah, Elon says don't do any because it's not needed anymore for search. However, that doesn't stop people from putting in hashtags as a shortcut to search. So I still think they're really helpful. I don't see a downside to them, but I've never been a fan of 25 hashtags. I just do book Twitter or Monday blogs when we're sharing blogs. Like that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved hashtags. I've done so many different ones that I branded, used as part of my business. Elon does not like them. He flat out doesn't like them. He don't want anybody using them. The algorithm allows you to have one hashtag. If you do one hashtag, you're not going to get dinged. If you do more than one hashtag, the algorithm is not going to let your post be seen by as many people. So you're doing a disservice if you're doing more than one. But he doesn't even want people using one. So I just don't really use them anymore. But if you're getting value out of doing it, one of the things I always love about hashtags, one of the things I always teach, and is still relevant today, is a way to make something stand out on your post. Because let's face it, when we're doing a post on X, I mean, if you have a paid account, you can bold stuff, you can put stuff in italics, but most people don't have the paid account. So how can you make your stuff stand out? You can't. But a hashtag always stands out because it's hyperlinked. So,
But Madalyn, is the algorithm helping certain posts rise to the surface even when it's not hashtagged? Because if I post about mental health and I don't even hashtag it, I'm finding I do get replies from people I don't know that are interested in mental health. So there must be something happening that's getting that post in front of the right people.
I imagine it's the keywords of the words itself without relying, because it used to be we had to do the hashtags as the keyword, right? So the algorithm doesn't work that way anymore. But what I always tell people to do is experiment. If you're noticing it's working better just from the words itself and no hashtags, but that is what the algorithm favors for sure. So I always liked hashtags. It will always have a special place in my heart. Other piece of news real quick, Substack announced that they've added more to the whole live, I know they have live streaming tools now. I know you're using Substack, Rachel. Are you doing any of the live streaming on there or no? I know that's like a newer feature, but it was real clunky earlier this year because I know a lot of journalists switched over to Substack and they started live streaming. And it wasn't that great, but it seems like they've been improving it. So this article just came out about they're making it easier to promote, to invite guests, and have clips that go right over to YouTube. So I think that's great because more and more people are switching to Substack. I'm actually planning to move my newsletter over to Substack. It's a very community-oriented platform. And I think that's, think about when you send out a newsletter, somebody can email you back, right? The person that received your email can reply back, but there's no other communication outside of that. But if you have Substack, like Rachel was talking about that awesome post she did from our, when we had our Facebook discussion last week, and she shared about how she saw it on Maury Smith posting it, and she did all the screenshots. It was a great post, Rachel.
Thank you.
But people can interact in there. And so, at the bottom where you can comment it's kind of like old school blogging when back in the day where you could comment and you could see everybody else's comment and, interact a bit. So I love that Substack does that.
I like that. I've been on Substack for years and I don't use it very often. Some people have their podcast through Substack. There are several people in our podcast community that's where it is embedded on Substack. So I'm curious. I'm going to go check it out again because of the live stream. I like doing live streams. So I'm going to go revisit that. So thank you. I'm glad you're mentioning Substack again. Usually it comes up in conversation and then I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, I've had one for a long time.
Yeah.
That article, was it your article or yours, Rachel, the one about Facebook? Was it Madalyn's?
Rachel's.
Yeah, it's on my Bad Redhead Media Substack. It's free to subscribe to anybody. I mean, you could pay if you want, but you obviously don't have to. And I just took a screenshot of Mari's post and then gave her, of course, full attribution, and then went into directions how to do it and why this isn't the best idea and why we need to be on top of it. I mean, I got one comment from a younger man who said, well, they just want all your porn pictures. And we laughed, but I said, it's on my 88-year-old mom's iPhone. I don't think there's going to be porn pictures on there. So really, if that's the way your brain works, then go that direction. But for me, I don't want pictures of my cat made into memes unless I make them because he's my cat, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. So I agree 100%. Can you real quickly, Rachel, put in the private chat the link to your Substack to that Facebook? I can pull it up real quick and share it with everybody.
Yeah, let me get there.
It was so well done, and I'll make sure I put it in the description over on YouTube. So again, for anybody watching this, if you want the links to everything I showed, the articles and the video clips we watch, I'll link it in my Madalyn Sklar YouTube. YouTube is one of the places we're broadcasting to right now. So I always put later on in the description, I'll always add all the links. So, but yeah, I real quickly want to show, because that article was so well done. So well done. I was
there you go.
very impressed. But you're a writer, so I had no doubt it was going to be good. Are you liking Substack? You've been on Substack for a while now, right?
Yeah, I started, I did MailChimp, then I did MailerLite. I hated doing newsletters, loved blogging, but for me, newsletters was just, I didn't like the way it worked in those, tools. So I started Substack with about 2,000 subscribers. I'm now almost up to 7,000 subscribers, which is pretty insane. The majority don't come from Substack itself, which is interesting. I do book sweeps, which is for published authors. You put your book in and you get people enter, and they have to opt in to get all of the books that they could potentially win. It's like 100 books. And it's $50 for me to join one of those promos. And I get like 1,000 people who have opted in. And you just import it into your subscribers. It's super easy.
Yours is so interactive. Look at all these comments you have.
Thank you. I have to say, I never get that. Like the last 2 posts, for some reason, have just sort of exploded. But I think because it's very concerning for people. So
yes. And you're giving them step-by-step instructions on there too.
Just own it, Rachel. You're awesome.
I know.
Yeah, own it.
By the way,
step by step.
Yeah, and by the way, on Substack, when people subscribe to you on Substack, they have to put in their email. Is that right?
Yes.
So it automatically helps you build an email list.
Yes. So what I love about Substack is that it also is indexed by Google. Not only the posts, but if you do videos or live streams, or if you do notes, which is their microblogging like Twitter section, all of that is indexed. So from a visibility perspective, I don't see a downside. Now, some people don't like how they're running things. They think that the CEO is like the devil incarnate.
Always something, right? People are always upset about something.
Aren't they all? No.
But I figure this way, I have all my emails in the lists that I get that I've worked hard to grow. So if, they shut down tomorrow, I still have all of my information and all of my emails and everything. But what I like is that it goes, and I'll wrap this up, it goes out in email to those almost 7,000 subscribers, and it exists on the platform itself. So if people don't subscribe but still want to read it, they can, because it's free. Now, a lot of people paywall their stuff, so you
Right.
can't read it unless you pay. I just really want to get the information out there.
But you can charge a fee, like, people can subscribe for additional content from you, right?
Yes, yes. And some people just like, I think I now have 6 paid subscribers and it's like
That's
$84 a
great.
year. And it's like, that's fantastic. Like, that's a couple bags of groceries, right?
There
But
you
my
go.
goal really, and I'm very appreciative, is just to keep it free like you have with your school, and just get the information out there to help people.
Absolutely. So, we're going to wrap up, but thank you to everybody that's tuning in. We got people watching from all over. We appreciate it. And back over to school, come join our free community. Anybody here can come sign up. It's free. Go to school.com/Madalyn Sklar. And this is where we're able to keep our discussions going. You have way more access to me when you're in here. And for anybody that got here a little late, we also spent a good chunk of the first half talking about the new feature school just added to the community here, where you can actually set up your own for as low as $9 a month. That's brand new. Let me pull the link back up. I'm trying to like run this whole show. You know how it is, like all of this live in real time. Oh, and of course, I didn't type in the link right, I guess, because look what it did. Let me see if I can do it again. Come on,
Madalyn,
link. There it
I
goes.
have to take off, so I'm going to say goodbye real quick.
Thank you for coming,
Okay,
Maria. We'll
okay.
see you next time.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. So there's a link over on school. You can, I have a special link here you can use to set up your own for as low as $9 a month, brand new. But we talk all about it earlier in this broadcast. Watch the replay if anybody missed it. Reach out to me if you have any questions. But if you're trying to build an online community and you're tired of Facebook groups, this is a great alternative. And I've been on this platform for quite a while, and I can say is great. Yes, Rachel.
Really quick, I now subscribe to all of Mari's updates, thanks to you. And she said that a ton of groups were closed with absolutely no notice. And so people went into their groups and they were gone. So apparently
Yeah.
they have restored many of them, but that's an issue too. So that's even another
Yeah,
reason.
we talked about that recently here on
Yeah.
the live stream. Like it's, they're using AI to moderate, and in doing so, they took down tons of huge groups
Yeah.
with no warning, but they
No.
got reinstated. But
Yeah.
some of these groups, and it was interesting, it's so meta because it was a lot of AI groups. AI brought a lot of AI groups down by accident, and some of these groups were huge, hundreds of thousands of people, and they were like, I guarantee you, now that things like this have been happening to so many people, they're going to want to join school or one of these other platforms and set up a separate place and pay the money, because it's worth it, because you have all the control. So what's nice now with school, you don't have to invest $99 a month to set up your own if you don't want, because that was the only plan they've had all this time. Now they've added, in addition to the $99 a month, is a $9 a month. So so a few less features, but I think it's a great deal.
Yeah.
It makes me think of like, what else could I start? Because that makes it a much easier entry into like having a community you control. There's not going to be censorship unless you want there, like you control the censoring. There's a lot of power in that. So I'm really excited for school to be doing this. I've got two things up here. My school platform, if anybody wants to come join us on school, where we keep our discussions going after our weekly live stream here. And then if you want to go set up one, I got the link there, set up your own for $9 a month, and they have a free trial. So, I mean, you can go try it for free. Just pay $9 a month. So there you go. That's what I've got for today, y'all. Always a great hour, always over an hour. We've been here for an hour and 8 minutes. It's very like me to always go over the time. So, but thank y'all so much for being here. Always appreciate hearing y'all's input.
All right. Have a good evening or good afternoon.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All right.
y'all have a
Thank
good
you.
rest of your day. See y'all next